How do you measure playoff greatness? Rings on your fingers, nerves of steel, or numbers so wild they make stat heads rub their eyes? Michael Jordan erupted for 850-point postseason games, more than Kobe, LeBron, KD, and even Wilt combined. Let that sink in. Welcome back to Sunday Legends. Today we're unpacking the rise, the rumors, and the ruthless willpower that turned Michael Jordan into basketball's gold standard. Laney High, Wilmington, 1978. A 15-year-old Michael strides into varsity tryouts, then watches the roster go up without his name. He doesn't sulk. He memorizes the list of players chosen ahead of him, tapes it above his bed, and uses it as a nightly dare. JV games become target practice. 40 points, 5 steals, and a dunk or two loud enough to rattle the backboards. Teachers recall him sneaking into the gym at 5 a.m. before class. The janitor remembers locking up after midnight while MJ was still perfecting turnaround jumpers. Beyond statistics, that season forged a mindset. Every slight becomes rocket fuel. By spring, he's grown 4 inches, added a pull-up jumper, and routinely terrorizes the very teammates who once edged him out. His mother Dolores tells friends he never forgot that first no. Even decades later, Jordan calls the cut the best thing that ever happened to me, proof that rejection, weaponized, can become destiny's launchpad. But a small-town vendetta was only the spark. The real blaze needed a bigger arena. Chapel Hill, 1981. Dean Smith is famous for sanding rough edges off hotshot recruits, yet he quickly learns that Jordan only sharpens under pressure. Freshmen rarely get crunch time plays, but Smith watches MJ demolish upperclassmen in scrimmage and installs a Jordan early morning key after finding him alone in the Smith Center at dawn. National Championship, 1982, 17 seconds left, Georgetown leads by 1. The ball swings to a freshman on the left wing, release, rotation, nylon. Title secured, a legend previewed. In interviews, Jordan shrugs, "I just shot it." Teammates remember him humming on the court like a kid in a driveway, utterly calm. Reporters label him Mr. Clutch before he's old enough to order champagne. That dagger births the mystique of number 23, a number he picks because it's roughly half of Big Brother Larry's 45. It will soon be stitched onto billions of jerseys, sneakers, and tattoos worldwide. College coronation complete, Jordan heads for a league in desperate need of electricity. Draft night 1984. Portland takes Sam Bowie at number 1. 2, leaving Chicago to snatch Jordan 3rd. Pundits mutter, too small for an NBA shooting guard. Great leaper, but raw. He answers by averaging 28.2 points, nabbing Rookie of the Year, and doubling Bulls ticket sales. Opponents say he moves like he's bullet time hacking the court. Nobody's ever seen hang time like this. April 20th, 1986, Boston Garden. First round Game 2 versus the reigning champ Celtics. Still fighting ankle stiffness, Jordan detonates for 63, a record that still stands. Larry Bird staggers into the locker room. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan. The wild subplot? He'd hung 49 2 nights earlier, meaning he torched a top 5 defense for 112 points in 48 hours. Even legends need gear. That fall, Nike unveils the Air Jordan 1. League officials ban the black and red colorway, fining him $5,000 each time he wears it. Nike happily pays, knowing controversy prints money. Sales top $100 million in year 1. The NBA now has its headline act. Next comes the Empire. What began as a sneaker side hustle mushroomed into a cultural monolith the minute Nike rolled out the Air Jordan 1. League execs hated the bread colorway, fining Jordan $5,000 every time he wore it. Nike paid the fines, laughed all the way to the bank, and cleared $100 million in year 1 sales. By the 1988 season, MJ was the first player ever to seize MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year, proof that his appetite devoured both ends of the floor. The commercials Spike Lee shot in Brooklyn. Money, it's gotta be the shoes. Turned shoes into status symbols, and homicide detectives in major cities started classifying sneaker stick-ups as a real thing. Fast forward to February 2024, Sotheby's auctioned 6 finals clinching game shoes, one from each championship, for $8 million, the richest price ever paid for athletic footwear. At the same time, the resale market for dead-stock Jordan's balloons passed $10 billion. Bloomberg analysts now track the Jumpman Index the way they once tracked oil. Hypebeasts chase collabs with Dior, Off-White, Travis Scott, yet the silhouette that moves fastest is still the 1985 high top that the league once banned. In every language on earth, Jordan is both a surname and a shorthand for excellence. And yet, flying that high means feeling every gust of controversy. The 1991 Bulls finally broke through the Detroit Bad Boys, then took out Magic's Lakers in 5. Jordan's mid-air hand-switch layup in Game 2 became a poster so iconic Sports Illustrated sold 2.3 million copies in 4 days. The 1992 run brought 67 wins, a shrugging 6 three-pointer burst in the finals, and the first of many tear-down books. The Jordan rules painted MJ as a teammate-shredding tyrant. He responded by averaging 41 a night in the 93 finals, still a record. But Paradise started feeling smoky. Reporters photographed Jordan gambling in Atlantic City the evening before a crucial playoff game. Businessman Richard Esquinas later printed receipts claiming MJ owed him $1.2 million on a single golf weekend. Jordan called it fabrication, cut a check, and told the press, "I have a competition problem, not a gambling problem." The NBA quietly investigated and cleared him, but suspicion lingered. Then a real tragedy. July 23, 1993, his father James was murdered while sleeping in his Lexus, shot on a North Carolina highway. Conspiracy blogs instantly tied it to debts. Commissioner David Stern called the link junk and has repeated that stance in every interview until his passing. Devastated, Jordan left basketball at the absolute peak, 3 rings in hand, to chase minor league fastballs few believed he could hit. It felt like Elvis quitting mid-tour. Rehab or flex? Either way, absence made the legend louder. March 18, 1995. 2 words hit the fax machines of every sports desk in America. I'm back. No press conference, no hype video, just a fax. 5 nights later, he scored 55 in Madison Square Garden with baseball calves still attached to basketball sneakers. The very next full season, the Bulls steamrolled to 72-10, a mark analysts swore would last forever until the Warriors' 73-9 sprint 2 decades later. And then came the night in Utah. Finals, Game 5, 1997. Jordan shows up chalk-pale, gulping fluids, eyelids half-masked. Trainers called it flu. A Utah pizza delivery man later claimed 5 Jazz diehards tampered with his late-night room service pie. Poison or virus, MJ logged 44 minutes, 38 points, the game winner, and a legendary lean into Scottie Pippen's chest. A year later, he ripped the ball from Karl Malone, coaxed Brian Russell into a seatbelt slide, and splashed the last shot. Ring number 6, Finals MVP number 6, 0 Game 7s. He left the court, arm raised, as if to autograph the sky. If stories ended on perfect notes, that would be it. But demons rarely clock out at halftime. September 2001. At age 38, itching for competition, Jordan announced he'd join the Washington Wizards. Part owner, part player, full alpha. Pundits predicted embarrassment. He hung 31 in Game 2, then, on December 29th, banged 51 on Charlotte and 45 the very next night on New Jersey, becoming the oldest man to drop 50. His Wizards tenure never reached playoff heights, but he sold out arenas and mentored ripening scorers like Rip Hamilton. In business, he never stopped posterizing accountants. In August 2023, He sold his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets for roughly $3 billion, a 17-fold return on his original investment, yet kept a minority slice for fun. Forbes responded by sliding him onto the Forbes 400 list, the first athlete ever worth $3 billion. The portfolio is now a hydra. 23XI Racing placed Tyler Reddick, P2, at the 2025 Daytona 500 and pocketed big stage points. Syncro Tequila inked a national distribution deal in January 2025, expanding to 43 U.S. markets and co-releasing a limited AC Milan bottle for €295 a pop. He owns real estate holdings from Jupiter, Florida to Park City, and recently took a strategic stake in DraftKings board, leaning into America's betting boom. Still, the trolling never ends. In May 2025, Fox analyst Nick Wright quipped that NBC should hire Jordan as its gambling expert, reigniting chatter about those 90s debts. Jordan's response? A shrug and another tequila toast at the Monaco Grand Prix. Greatness this loud forces the culture to pick sides, and the arguments get fiercer. Modern analytics swear by pace-adjusted efficiency. Jordan's defenders raise 6-for-6 rings like holy relics. Statisticians point to LeBron's overall counting stats. Purists fire back that MJ packed his prime into 13 Chicago seasons and still left more 40-point playoff games, 38, than sub-20 clunkers, 33. He scored 10-plus points every night for 11 straight years, carried a defensive rating that would still rank in today's top tier, and forced franchises to design entire rosters of Jordan stoppers, none of whom kept their jobs for long. Culturally, he's in unfriendly competition with time itself. Netflix docs, YouTube edits, TikTok mashups. Every generation rediscovers him through fresh pixels. NFT sneakers bearing the Jumpman sold out in 7 minutes last spring. A hologram dunk contest rumored for the 2026 All-Star Weekend suggests he may headline virtual arenas next. Meanwhile, the whispers won't die. Was the first retirement a secret suspension? Was the flu game really food poisoning? The mystery adds oxygen. The myth refuses to suffocate. A varsity snub, 6 rings, the $3 billion swagger of a boardroom warlord, Michael Jordan keeps redefining what a ceiling looks like. Rings measure fingers, analytics measure decimals, but the real metric is gravitational pull. Decades later, every new prodigy still gets compared to a man who hasn't played since 2003. So tell us below, which Jordan moment froze you in disbelief? The Boston 63, the Flu 38, the Wizards 51, or maybe just that first glimpse of a banned red and black sneaker? Drop your story, and your comment might headline our next deep dive. Stay legendary. We'll see you next time, only on Sunday Legends.